Let's talk about the weather. We're hearing a lot about how it's the hottest it's ever been. If you go outside, you're going to melt. Most of the people my age or older can remember we had hot summers, we had dry summers, we had wet summers, we've had cool summers. But now all of a sudden, all we hear about on all the local weather is the heat index, right? Heat index. The temperature's 90, but it feels like it's 160 degrees outside, right? When I was growing up, they just said it was going to be a muggy hot day. Some of y'all remember that. They would use the word muggy, which if you're in the South, it means you go outside and your clothes pretty much look like you've been in water. Your clothes stick to you because you're sweating so much. It was called muggy. But now it's a heat index, right? It's 98 degrees, but the heat index is 130. Okay, you know, it's to shock you, to scare you that, oh, the earth's heating up, the earth's heating up. One thing I've asked a weatherman that I'm kind of friends with on Facebook, some of you may have heard of him, his name's Dan Satterfield. He posted something about, it's the hottest since records have been kept. And I asked him, I said, okay, how do you not know that it was hotter before records were kept? He never replies to that. Never. You know, okay, we've been keeping records for 100, 200 years, right? Okay, we don't know what the temperature was 300 years ago. No, there's no records of that. So how do we not know we're just going through some form of a cycle right now that we have seen before here on Earth? Who knows? The big thing that gets me is how they scream the heat index. It's 95, 98 degrees heat index of 120 and 130, right? Come on. You know, it's bad enough if you watch your local news, you're going to get all shock and awe from that. But now the weatherman's doing it. A lot of times, around here we have tornadoes. Some of you live in the same area or live in a tornado area. But around here, they've even started like a severe thunderstorm. They'll come on TV and stay on TV the whole time the severe thunderstorm's on because they want to be the first weatherman to say, oh, tornado spotted, right? It's like every time you do something here lately, like to turn and watch TV on a news or anything, it's all shock and awe, right? It's the worst it's ever been, or this or that. When it comes to the weather, a weatherman is right. What, maybe 50% chance of time? 50% of the time they're right. They'll tell you, it's going to rain and it doesn't rain, or it's going to be cold and it doesn't get cold. They're one profession that gets paid good money to be wrong half the time. But all they do now is try to scare you with every weather event. Like hurricane season, right? They'll tell you it's a Category 5 hurricane, it's coming, and then when it hits, it's a Category 1, a Category 2, which is still bad in areas. My point of that is, when they're measuring these winds and hurricanes, how high up are they measuring them, right? Is it 150 miles an hour, 1,000 feet in the air, or is that ground level winds, right? They always want to just shock you like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. But this heat, everybody that watches my channels know I hate it above 60 degrees. I sweat. Above 60 degrees, I pour sweat. But this heat index crap they're using now used to be, when I was growing up, you would hear it was going to be 95, 98 degrees and muggy, right? You knew, all right, it's going to be a hot, sweaty day. Now they're making it out that these temperatures have never happened before on Earth. It's the hottest, whatever. But you always got to remember, they say since records were kept. We don't know what the temperatures were before records were kept. But yet, when you ask them about that, and I'm talking about meteorologists, they just ignore your question, or pretty much, just tell you you're crazy. But weather changes all the time. Last winter was supposed to be the cold, dark winter. Y'all remember that? I made a video on it. Everybody was saying it's going to be the cold, dark winter. We had 1 week of cold weather here. One solid week of pretty cold weather. It stayed below freezing for about a week here. And here where I live in Alabama, in the northeastern part of Alabama, we have about 2 weeks of cold weather in the winter. What I call cold weather is it doesn't get above 45 degrees during the day. We have about a total of 2 weeks for the whole 90 days or however many days they are of winter. That's all we have of winter anymore. We always have a chance of snow sometime around Christmas and usually around the 20th, 21st of January. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not a weatherman, but this heat index stuff they keep talking about, I don't put much in it because, like I said, you know, growing up it was just called muggy weather, and now they changed the definition of everything. We've talked about this before. That everything's definition is changing, right? So, what do y'all think about the weather in your area? Is it hotter this year than it ever has been before? If you remember back about May, people were complaining about it being too cold here in the South. You know that it was too cold. But people don't even realize summer don't start till June 21st. We're only a month into or June 20th or 21st. I don't remember. We're only a month into summer right now, and usually here August to September is our hottest part of the summer. So we still got heat to come, right? What's the weather like in your area? Is it hotter than it normally is? Have you ever seen it that hot before? Do you believe that when they tell you it's 95 degrees, the heat index is 140, you're going to melt, into a puddle when you go outside? Let me know your thoughts on this. Keep your head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings at all times, protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed and you're not going to subscribe, hit the thumbs down on your way out the door. For everybody else, keep prepping, stay safe.